Yo, what's going on, guys? It is Shabs, and I'm back with another episode of FUT Champions Road to 40 out of 40. And in this episode, I'm going to be showing you guys my final 15 games, which I think were the most important ones. I showed you guys my first 10, and I'm just pretty much skipping the next batch of 10 and the next batch of 15, and skipping over to the last 15. I just think, do you guys want to see every single game of my FUT Champions, every weekend? Or do you mind if I do this? Like, I want to show my first batch of 10 and my last batch of 10. Which I think are the most important. I think how you start and how you finish is what dictates your weekend league. So just let me know what you guys think about that. But yeah, before I get into the highlights of the games and I got and stuff like that, I want to show you guys my team because people have asked about it. Asked about the squad I made, formation I used, did I change formation in game, my custom tactics and stuff. And yes, I did that. So I'm going to show you guys everything. So pretty much throughout the weekend, I changed my team about 3-4 times. I started off with Dybala, Higuain up top with Pjanic. In a 3-5-2. Then I switched over to a formation like this with Bio, and then I had Eden Hazard and Batshuayi as striker and left forward. But then I finally, for my last, how many games? Let me see. I bought I think Modric or Sergio Ramos. So I think for the last 19 to 20 games, I used this exact squad. And if I'm being honest, the game changer has to be this man, Thomas Muller. His stats might say 11 and 8 in 26 games. You know, that's decent. But his presence, his passing ability, his size, the aerial threat he has, his positioning, he's just very dominant as a cam which is what I used him in. And I think really this squad was really good. It really helped me get into a higher ranking than I usually do. And I'm going to show you guys exactly where I finished. If you follow me on Twitter, you obviously know how I finished. But before I start, guys, Merry Christmas to everyone who celebrates Christmas. If you don't, hope you're having a safe and happy holidays. And enjoy it, enjoy the time with your family, enjoy the time free from possibly, stress at school and stuff like that. So just, enjoy it, cherish it. But this is what I did. So I started off in a 4-3-2-1, and I switched over to obviously a popular pro formation, the 4-2-1-2 narrow, and I did this. I had Bale up top with Griezmann. I find Griezmann at the right striker was really good. Look at that, 22 goals, 13 assists, 35 games. He does fine there. I moved Vidal to the right center mid. I moved Modric to the left center mid. I take Coman down for Muller, and then I take Kingsley Coman off for Renato Sanchez, who is a beast at center defensive mid. He is a beast. I was scared because look, he has 72 defending, 84 physical, which is good, but 72 defending. I was like, his passing 70. It's gonna be hard to pass out of there, but bro. This guy is something else, man. He's so big, bulky. I love him, man. He's a game changer at CDM, boys. He really is. But yeah, so I ran this, and then I would go to my custom tactics. As you can see, 65 speed, 50 passing, 60 crossing, 60 shooting, free form, 60 pressure, 60 aggression, 55 width, cover. It's pretty much balanced. I just twinkle around with a little bit of the stats. But my player instructions, as you can see, were like this. I would go man mark, stay back while attacking for Renato Sanchez, stay back for DeMarco, stay back for Alaba, stay back for Modric, stay back for Vidal, and then I would have Muller stay forward, get into the box for the crosses and freeform. Bale getting behind, press back line. Griezmann getting behind, press back line. And at halftime, if I'm not creating much offense, I would usually sub in Hazard for Griezmann or Bale. Whoever's doing worse, I sub him off for them. And then later on, I usually sub in Carrillo. I love Carrillo, man. 1 goal, 1 assist in 9 games. He's so good. He has 5-star skills, great pace, great physicality, good finishing. I love him. I love Carrillo. But yeah, Salah sometimes comes in off the bench. Emre Can, if I have a 2-goal lead, comes in off the bench. But that's the squad, boy. That's the squad I ran into weekend league with. Now I'm gonna get into the highlights and talk more about the team and some topics that are on my mind, and also show you guys how I did. So let's go. Alright, guys. So we begin facing off against Lacazette, Ben Arfa. Team of the week, Lemar, and he's got Emmanuel Petit, the legend there. Kante's inform card as well, so he's a solid team in a 4-2-3-1-2, which is a formation I love. But before we begin, guys, I want to talk about my controller settings, because somebody asked in the comment section below about my controller settings. So pretty much I keep it on neutral, whatever it was. I just make sure that the air balls is set on, when the ball's in the air, auto switching. There you go, switching your players. I set it to air balls, which is what you should probably do. And then the other thing I switched was a tip that actually Dirty Mike USA did. If you don't know him, he's a YouTuber on FIFA. He gives pretty much tips and tricks and that kind of thing. I'm sure you've heard of him, Dirty Mike. And he said to switch your A button with your B button for tackling on defense. So on defense, instead of tackling with B, you tackle with A, and instead of using the contain button with R1 or right bumper if you're on Xbox, you switch it to B. So that's what I use, guys. I switched those two around, and that really helped my game out a lot, tremendously, guys. As Bale cuts in with Modric. So a lot of things I noticed this weekend was the way I was scoring goals was very sweaty. Not sweaty in the wrong way, but I was just putting myself in better positions to finish. As you see, we got our first win of the episode. The triple tap X is very overpowered, or square if you're on PS4. I think that's probably the biggest thing that you guys should utilize if you're wondering why you're not scoring enough goals. When you're around the box, especially on the edges, on the edges of the line before you go out of bounds, near the corner line, cut inside a little bit and triple tap that X button. And if you're close, if your angle is really close to the goalkeeper, I would say press A or Y to give a through ball and get a tap in pretty much. I found myself scoring a lot of goals like that. Look at this. Modric gets the ball, holds him off, passes it in. Oh, actually, this was an A's goal. What an A's goal! I noticed when I'm editing my gameplay that, you know, I always complain that no, nothing's going my way, man. I'm losing. It's not fair. But when I edit back, I'm like, okay, I had a lot of things go my way, and I had a lot of things go against me. So I guess every weekend it balances itself out. Maybe some weekends more than others you get bad breaks more than you get good breaks, but I think eventually it does balance itself out. And I should probably complain less as Hazard finishes beautifully there. But yeah, as I was saying, guys, pretty much put yourself in a better position to score, and that's what helped me a lot this weekend. Look at Salah, our super sub there. And another thing that really helped me, guys, was a tip again by Dirty Mike when he was doing his 40 games out of 40. When, you know, the weekly content he does. As you can see, another pass into the middle, and Gareth Bale gets an easy tap in. That's what you want. That's what you want. Easy goals to give yourself a better chance of winning, better quality chance of scoring. But yeah, Dirty Mike said, when you have a 2-goal lead, change your formation. And I was like, I've never done this before. Like, I don't usually change to 5 in the back because that just ruins my defense completely. But I changed to a 4-2-3-1 wide, which is the second variation. I'm in love with that formation, as you guys know. I even did a review on it on my channel and told you guys how to use it, how to utilize it, and I love it. A lot of people that used it, that were my subscribers, they also said, wow, I love it. It's a good formation, very good defensively, hard to break down, but it's tough to score with. You don't have that many offensive options, as your striker always is isolated. Speaking of the 4-3-3-1 too, I tried something very interesting this weekend. When I had 2 goals up, I would put Muller at striker. You know, he doesn't have the best pace, but I would make him as his instruction as false 9. And it worked really well. My left mid and right mid were kind of the strikers. And I had Eden Hazard and Gareth Bale. Hazard on the right side, Gareth Bale on the left side. And they would always break through. And I created a lot of chances like that. Wow. Yeah. Just a little thought about the 4-3-1-2. But yeah, I took my formation after 2-goal lead. And that helped me win a lot more games. It helped me close out games. A couple of weekends ago and last weekend especially, I would have a 2-3 goal lead, but I would lose it. And I would end up losing in pens or something. Look at that bang by Griezmann. Woo! Griezmann's the real deal, boys. Oh my god. He's the best striker I've used to date. Like, anytime I do well in FUT Champions, Griezmann is my striker. So why do I get rid of him? I don't know, boys. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Rage selling is a thing on my mind all the time, as you can see. But yeah, like I was saying, I also want to talk about another player, SBC Thomas Muller. If you guys did not finish it and do it, man, I feel sorry for you guys because he's an amazing card. I know he has a Scream card. I know he has a couple informs, but I just feel like regular cards and SBC cards work better than informs. You know what I mean? And red cards. I'm not a big fan of red cards. I feel like they don't play as well as they should be playing. Maybe it's just placebo. Maybe that's just how I want it to think, how my mind wants to perceive it. But I can't really put a finger on it. But SBC Muller, guys, he's the real deal. If you didn't do it, I feel bad, man. He's a really good card. He's one of the biggest components of my team, and he worked really well at the cam position. I reckon he'd be working well at center forward as well if you want to do a false 9 kind of thing. Or if you want to play him as a striker, but give him false 9 instructions with pacey wingers on the side. I think that would work really well. But a big topic that was on my mind this whole weekend, that a couple of Twitter arguments got on my mind. I was like, I don't know what to think. But look at this squad, boys. Striker Ronaldo, his second inform card. He's got Neymar, Toran, Inaka Williams. Yeah, very solid squad all around. But yeah, so as I was saying, the question was on Twitter. It was like there were a couple of people arguing about whether or not red cards and informs ruin your team per se. Because as you know, Epsilon Gorilla, he was talking about how pro players never use rare cards, no special cards, because they don't work. It's either legends or legends or regular cards, because those other cards, they ruin your team. Is pretty basically what he said. By the way, woeful defending on my part in this game. And I was thinking about it, and I was like, I don't think it's necessarily true, but I want to see if it has a difference. So as often as I could, I limited myself to only using regular cards, SPC cards, or legends, because those are, I think SPC cards, they play like regular cards, so I don't really notice the difference. But informs and stuff like that, they're not really my thing, because they don't really work. They don't work as well as the price tag that they're given, if you feel what I'm saying. If they're necessarily a position change that works in your favor and you really want to use that card, I think that's the only time it's worth it, really. I can't think of any other time that's worth it. But they were talking back and forth, a couple people on Twitter with Gorilla, and then this one guy said something very interesting. He said he was an elite player in FUT Champions, and he said the minute he became an elite player from a Gold 1 player was when he stopped using inform cards, non-elite inform cards, and he started using elite regular cards. And I was like, wait a sec, he has a good point. Like, let's say instead of spending, what is it, 200k on Benteke's inform card, why don't you spend 200k on Griezmann's card for an elite regular card instead of a non-elite inform? Because Benteke's inform card is not an elite card. It's a great card, but it's not an elite card. And why don't you use a non-elite? Why would you use a non-elite inform when you can use an elite regular card? That was the mindset and mentality I went with in this game and this weekend, and it worked in my favor. It really worked in my favor. I noticed that the players were playing better, and then it kind of got me thinking about back a couple weekends ago, and especially last weekend ago, when I had a lot of informs on my team, and I was like, wow, I wasted my coins. Like right now I have so much star power. I have Gareth Bale, I have Griezmann, I have Vidal, I have SPC Muller, I have Boateng, Alaba, Sergio Ramos, Modric. I have so much star power in my team that it makes it very hard for me to lose my games unless I'm playing like a bonehead, like a knucklehead. Whereas the weekend before, I was using guys like Inform Mane, Inform Kante, Inform Benteke, Inform Valencia, you know, Inform this, Inform that, Inform this, Inform that. And it didn't work. I had no star power on my team. I had a lot of non-elite special cards when I could have had elite regular cards. And that's, if you guys are struggling in FUT Champions, that's probably the biggest tip I can get. Especially if you have coins around 500k plus. If you have that many coins, stay away from informs. Stay away from informs. Man of the match cards, player of the month. No, not player of the month. Man of the match cards, stuff like that. Keep your SPC cards and try as hard as you can to build around them. You know. Because it really changed my game. As you can see, this squad, guys, look at this comment, this message I got. I shared it on Twitter. If you follow my Twitter, so jokes. I was like, wow. Because in that game, in the previous game that I lost 3-1 that you guys just saw, his bot lane was a hack, bro. His bot lane was a hack. I had 7 or 8, like, really good chances. Like, I'm talking goals. That bot lane stopped. He just, low driven shots, he just kicked it out of the way. Rebound saves he made, they were ridiculous. But yeah, back on topic, guys. If you are struggling, stay away from any cards except for regular cards. I'd even stay away from legend cards because I'm not even impressed. Legends are so overpriced, they're not worth it. Only ones I think are worth it is Del Piero, Hullet, Mateus, Rui Costa is worth it, I'd say. But even Rui Costa, you can find better cams that'll do the same thing as him for fewer coins, you know what I mean? Patrick Vieira, you can get Kante. Patrick Vieira, you can get Renato Sanchez. You know, 5k or 20k and what, 1.8 million? Like, you gotta balance it out a little bit. Yeah, big tip, guys. That's what the big thing I learned this weekend, and I hope that helps you guys for your next weekend league. And another topic that I had in mind was bronze benching. I want to talk about bronze benching because this past weekend, the highlights that you're seeing for this weekend league, that's what I mean. Look at Carrillo. He just gets in the spot. Beautiful pass to Griezmann. But yeah, let's get back on topic here. Bronze benching does not really make a difference in my opinion. In my opinion, I've been bronze benching since the beginning of weekend league, but this weekend, I did not bench at all. I had an 87 rating. I had a 187 squad rating. Excuse me. And that's the best performance I ever had in a weekend league. Take that in for a sec. I had a 187 rating when I usually have a 181, 179, 180, 182. I had a 187. And I faced a lot of opponents that bronze bench. And I had my best weekend ever. So is handicap really a thing? Is bronze benching a thing that really helps you? I don't think so. I think it's all in the mind. I think it's all placebo. It's what we want to think, what we want to give ourselves, obviously every advantage we can give ourselves, but I think that's just a mind thing, a mindset thing. I think it's a myth. I don't think it helps you at all. I think it's a load of BS, if I'm being honest. So I just think if you're worried about bronze, if you're worried about your team being a high squad rating, don't at all. There's no handicap. There's no any of that. There's no tilting because of that. As you can see, we are 2 wins away from elite. We're looking good, but we come up against SBC Fecker and SBC Lacazette. Guys, SBC Fecker. Oh, he's so good. He's so good. SBC Fecker. He gave me so many problems, boys. Like, he's so physical. He's so big. He has great finishing. He has great positioning. Yo, I actually regret not doing the SBC Fecker. Even though I was probably not going to use him. He was an animal on the pitch. I could not stop Fecker. We had pretty good stats. We probably deserved a better fate, but a lot of games we probably deserved the worst fate. So it kind of balanced out. As you can see, guys, we lost that game. So that means we have to go 2 wins, 1 loss to get into elite, guys. Can we do it? We get the ball here with Kingsley Coman, who's our actually first minute sub. We get Griezmann. Woo! Right-footed smash into the bottom right corner, top right corner. Beautiful finesse shot there. But yeah, guys, bronze benching, if you're worried about it, don't be worried about it at all. Yeah, as you can see, it was a very, very tight game. So now we can get elite. Look at that, boy. We can get elite, boys, if we get 1 and 1. That's so easy. 1 win, 1 loss. And this guy had Intep at left center mid, as you can see. 80 overall player, but he has great physical, great passing, great shooting. I love his card, man. I want to use him in my team, but there's so many cards I want to use on my team. It's impossible to fit everyone in. As you can see, Muller gets us to 1-0 lead. Bang! But yeah, huge topics to talk about today, guys. Stay away from informs. Stay away from non-elite informs and non-elite. Stay away from non-elite special cards and just get elite regular cards. Simple as that. Take that tip for the next weekend league, and you're gonna see you're gonna do much better. I hope you do better, anyways. As you can see, Renato Sanchez. Yo, this goal is so hype, man. Renato Sanchez gets me into Elite 3. Yo, Renato Sanchez was a beast. He was great at CDM, and then he tops it off with the game winner to get us into Elite 3. Let's go! Best finish yet. We come against 4-1-2-1-2 Diamond, which gives me a lot of problems, to be honest with you. Yeah, those are 2 big topics, guys. I hope that helps you in your weekend league for sure. But yeah, Muller. Look at this goal by Muller. Yeah, he fights Boateng for the header. What? Beautiful goal by Muller, man. He just another corner, guys. Corners. I love LTL dribbling in the corner. Look at that. Woo! Give it in to Gareth or Muller. Muller gets tackled. Sergio Ramos gets tackled. I know, guys. 10 out of 10 AIDS goal right there. But 2-0, and this guy was having none of it. He rage quits. And that's how we end our weekend, guys. 30 wins, 10 losses. Our best weekend ever. We're hoping for Elite 2 next weekend. We can do that. 32 wins. But guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Smash the like button if you did. Subscribe for daily content. Let me know if these tips helped you out. Please use them. I want to know how you guys do with these tips, and I'll see you next time. Peace.